You know what the most expensive thing in America is? It is not a house, it is not a car, it is not college tuition. It is looking like you can afford things that you cannot. And here is the contradiction that nobody talks about. The people who look the richest in your neighborhood, at your workplace, on your street, are statistically among the most financially fragile people in the country. And the people building actual wealth right now look completely ordinary, drive ordinary cars, live in ordinary houses, post almost nothing. There is a name for what separates these two groups. It is not income, it is not education, it is not even luck. It is 5 specific decisions that middle-class people make every single day without ever realizing they are making them. And decision number 3 is the one that will stop you mid-sentence when I tell you what it is. Because you did it this week, I guarantee it. But before I get there, I need to show you something about the identity you have been sold since the day you were born. Welcome. If you are new here, this channel does one thing only. It shows you the financial decisions that are happening inside your life right now that you cannot see because nobody ever taught you to look for them. Today, 5 decisions, each one disguised as something completely reasonable, something responsible, something a smart person would do. And by the end of this video, you will understand why the middle-class trap is not a trap of poverty. It is a trap of almost. Almost enough saved, almost enough invested, almost free. Always almost. And the reason almost never becomes actually has nothing to do with how hard you work. It has everything to do with who you believe you are. That realization is coming. Stay with me. Let me describe your month. Paycheck arrives. For approximately 4 hours, you feel fine. Then the rent, the car payment, the insurance, the subscriptions you forgot you had, the groceries that somehow cost more than last month, the thing your kid needed for school, the dinner you said yes to because saying no felt embarrassing. And by day 12, you are doing the math in your head every time you buy coffee. Now here is what makes this particularly painful. You are not broke. You earn decent money. By global standards, you are wealthy. And yet, there is this persistent feeling that you are one unexpected expense away from real trouble. That feeling has a name, and it is not bad luck. It is not a spending problem. It is an identity problem. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. There is a concept in psychology called identity-based behavior, and it works like this. Every decision you make, every purchase, every financial choice is filtered through one question that your brain asks completely automatically, without your permission. The question is not, can I afford this? The question is this what someone like me does? That one question is silently running every financial decision in your life. And the middle-class identity, the one you absorbed before you were old enough to choose it, has a very specific answer to what someone like me does. That answer is costing you everything. And decision number 3 is where you'll see it most clearly. We're getting there. I want to tell you about a man named David. David is 41 years old. He's an operations manager at a logistics company. Good salary, respected, dependable. David drives a BMW 5 Series, leased. David lives in a 4-bedroom house with his wife and 1 child. The 4th bedroom is a home office that David uses approximately twice a month. David has an $847 monthly car payment, a mortgage that makes him sweat on slower months, 3 credit cards, each carrying a balance he's been meaning to pay off since 2021. And David has $4,200 in savings total. Now, here's the part that matters. David does not feel poor. David feels responsible. David feels like a man who has worked hard and earned the right to live a certain way. And that feeling, that identity, is the trap. Decision number 1 that keeps David and millions of Americans like him exactly where they are. Spending to confirm an identity rather than spending to build a future. David doesn't need a BMW. David needs the BMW to feel like David. The car is not transportation. The car is a statement. This is who I am. This is how far I've come.
This is what someone like me drives. And that statement costs David $847 every single month, $10,164 every year. That is not a car payment. That is the price of David's identity. And David pays it without question every single month, because questioning it would mean questioning who he believes he is. And that is a price most people are never willing to pay. Decision number 2. And this one is subtler, more dangerous, because it hides inside something that genuinely sounds smart. Middle-class people are obsessed with getting a good deal. Discount codes, sales seasons, the cheaper option, the bulk buy. I saved $40 on those shoes. We got a great deal on the vacation package. I always buy the store brand. And none of this is wrong. Being careful with money is not wrong. But here is where decision 2 becomes a trap. Wealthy people don't think about how to spend less. They think about how to earn more. Middle-class people spend enormous amounts of time and energy optimizing the spending side of an equation that can only truly be solved on the earning side. You can save $40 on shoes. You cannot save your way to wealth. Savings has a floor, 0. You cannot spend less than nothing. But earning has no ceiling. And every hour spent finding a better deal is an hour not spent building something that earns. David spends 45 minutes every week comparing prices online. He saves approximately $60 per month through careful shopping. He has never once spent 45 minutes thinking about how to build a single additional income stream. The $60 saving feels real. The lost opportunity is invisible. And invisible costs are always the most expensive ones. Decision number 3, the one I promised you, the one you did this week. I want to tell you about a woman named Christine. Christine is 36 years old. She's a nurse, 36 years old. She works night shifts 3 days a week. Hard work, real work, that genuinely matters.
Christine earns $72,000 a year. Christine has no investments, no retirement account beyond her basic employer match, $1,100 in checking, $340 in savings, and Christine is one of the most generous people you will ever meet. Her friend needed help with rent last March, Christine helped. Her cousin's kids needed school supplies, Christine bought them. Her coworker's Earth Day, Christine organized the collection and put in more than anyone else. Christmas, Thanksgiving, every family gathering, Christine shows up with more than she should bring, every time. And Christine goes home after every one of these moments feeling good, feeling like a good person, feeling like someone who has her priorities right. Christine is going to reach 62 years old with almost nothing saved, not because she was irresponsible, not because she did not earn enough, because Christine has confused being a good person with being financially self-destructive. And nobody in Christine's entire life has ever had the courage to tell her the difference. Here is the psychological truth behind decision number 3. Generosity can be an identity. Just like David's BMW, I am the person who shows up. I am the person who helps. I am the person who gives. And when generosity becomes identity, it stops being a choice. It becomes compulsory. Because saying no does not just feel selfish, it feels like a betrayal of who you are. And so Christine gives past the point of sustainability, past the point of wisdom, past the point where it is actually helping anyone, including the people she loves. Here is the hardest financial truth about generosity. You cannot pour from an empty account. The most generous thing Christine can do for every person she loves is to build financial security, so that when a real crisis comes, a real one, she is actually able to help, not just for a month, for a lifetime. Generosity without a financial foundation is not virtue. It is a delayed emergency that one day will land on the people Christine loves most. Decision number 4. And this is the one that the financial industry has built an entire business model around. Most middle-class people make financial decisions based on monthly payments, not total cost, not opportunity cost, not what that money could have become, just, can I afford the monthly payment?
$400 a month for the car, $200 a month for the furniture, $150 a month for the home gym equipment, currently functioning as a very expensive clothes rack. Each payment feels manageable. Each payment feels like a reasonable decision for someone at your income level. But here is what nobody calculates. David's BMW, $847 per month. Over a 5-year lease, $50,820. That same $847 per month invested in a basic index fund at a historical average return of 7% over 20 years becomes $529,000. David did not buy a car. David traded $500,000 for the feeling of being someone who drives a BMW. That is not a car payment. That is the most expensive identity purchase David will ever make. And David will do it again the moment this lease ends, because nobody showed him what he was actually buying. Decision number 5. And this is the one that connects everything. The one that answers the question I opened at the very beginning. What is the identity that was sold to you before you could choose? Middle-class people consistently, chronically, systematically choose visible comfort over invisible growth. The car you can see over the investment nobody knows about. The house that impresses over the portfolio that compounds. The vacation that gets posted over the financial foundation that never photographs well. Because the middle-class identity, the one absorbed before you could question it, says one thing above everything else. Show people you're doing okay. And showing people you're doing okay costs money, real money, compounding money, future money. Here is the realization that changes everything. Wealth is invisible by nature. You cannot see a compound interest account. You cannot photograph a net worth statement. You cannot post a video of money working while you sleep. And so, in a world built on visibility, on showing, on performing, wealth loses every single time to the appearance of wealth, until the day the appearance runs out. And on that day, the people who chose invisible growth over visible comfort have something. And the people who chose to look wealthy have a collection of depreciating things and a feeling that used to feel like success. David is 41. Christine is 36. They're not bad people. They're not stupid people. They are people who were handed an identity before they were old enough to examine it. An identity that says, this is what someone like you looks like. This is what someone like you drives like. This is what someone like you does for people they love. And that identity is the trap. Not the spending, not the generosity, not the monthly payments. The identity underneath all of it. The unexamined belief about who you are and what someone like you does with money. That is the middle-class trap, and it ends the moment you decide to examine it. 5 decisions, 5 shifts, starting today. Decision 1. Question the identity purchase. Before any significant purchase, one question. Am I buying this because I need it or because it confirms who I believe I am? You may still buy it, but buy it consciously, not because your identity demanded it. Decision 2. Stop optimizing the wrong side. This week, calculate how many hours you spend finding deals, comparing prices, cutting costs. Then ask, have I spent even half that time thinking about how to earn more? If not, that's where the shift begins. Decision 3. Separate generosity from identity. If you're Christine, if giving is who you are, hear this. The most generous version of yourself lives on the other side of financial security. Build the foundation first, then give from abundance, not from the last of what you have. Decision 4. Calculate the real price. Before your next monthly payment commitment, calculate the total cost. Then calculate what that same monthly amount would become if invested for 20 years. That second number is the real price tag. Make sure the thing is worth it. Decision 5. Choose a new identity. This is the only one that matters. Not I am someone who looks successful, but I am someone who builds quietly. I am someone who chooses the future over the appearance of the present. I am someone whose wealth cannot be photographed because it is real. That identity does not cost $847 per month. It pays you for the rest of your life. David is still leasing. Christine is still giving more than she has. And somewhere right now, someone with their income or less is building something that nobody can see. Quietly, patiently, invisibly. And in 20 years, the difference between those two people will not be explainable by income. It will be explainable by identity, by the answer to one question that runs silently through every financial decision you will ever make. Who do you believe you are? That's everything for today. If this made you stop and genuinely reconsider even one financial decision, please subscribe, because this is the conversation we have here every week. And share this with one person in your life who works hard but can't figure out why the numbers never seem to add up. One share could change how someone sees every financial decision they make from today forward. I made a video on how to build your first real asset from zero, without quitting your job, without a business degree, without any of the things you think you need. It's right there on your screen. Before you go, one question in the comments. Which of the 5 decisions did you recognize most clearly in yourself? Not someone else, yourself. I want to know. I read every comment. Every one. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.